Hi guys, and welcome to Alison Eats, where today's video is all about the 7-day no sugar challenge that I completed. Yes. And I'm going to tell you a bit about what it was like, what I learned, how I found it, and $1,000,000 question: am I eating sugar now? So I've done a video on why I did the challenge, and I'm not going to go over too much of that, but in essence, I guess to give you a bit of a before picture, I think I had a pretty reasonable relationship with food. Sugary treats and snacks and things like that were part of my day, part of my routine that I used to look forward to, especially during lockdown. They became something that I would really look forward to. And I never thought too much about the role of sugar, and it wasn't something that was in my mind. But then lockdown happened, and I think being at home, surrounded by the food, and having it as such a reliable source of pleasure, I kind of started developing some funky eating patterns, a bit more emotional eating, and starting to feel out of control, and starting to do some kind of binges as well. And they were always focused around sugary treats, and I wasn't liking it. So that was kind of my before, and one of the reasons why I started to do the challenge. No sugar, ops. There was also a maximum 30 grams of dried fruit allowance per day. That's because, well, the idea is to just not eat sugar, and that's what dried fruit is, isn't it? And the government say that 30 grams is a portion, so it's arbitrary, but whatever, I'll follow the government guidance. No sweeteners as well. It is sugar by another name with no calories, but still sugar. And if I wasn't sure if a food was sugary or not, then I would have a look at the label, and if it was less than 5 grams per 100 grams, it was a goer. I already told you, yes, I did. Smashed it! Yes, and also no. So I was really worried that it would be really hard, and that I would be just constantly craving and like feeling like I'm missing out all the time, and just like, I want to eat this, why can't I eat it? You know, what do I do when I comfort eat and I can't comfort eat my lovely chocolate? But actually, the first few days, that's kind of where I felt that feeling the most. But then after a while, I either craved less, or I was better able to manage the cravings such that they weren't so distressing to me. Because after the first few days, I was like, oh, okay, this is just how it is. Like, I can just manage this, and I felt very kind of flat and level. And there was a moment where I kind of reflected back, like, I can't believe I've done this. When before I have felt so out of control around food. I've been standing. I'm like a standing binge eater, but I'm like before, standing and eating all the food in my kitchen and looking and searching and what can I find, and yet I just have finished 7 days, and actually it didn't feel too difficult at all. So that was really interesting. Perhaps it's like one of those things where the more you eat sugar, the more you crave it. I don't know. So I didn't feel any better or worse as a result of not eating sugar. I was kind of pretty much the same. Nothing happened, like my skin didn't clear up, or I didn't lose a bunch of weight. In fact, I actually gained a little bit of weight. Yeah, so I still obviously having some overeating things, maybe, even if it's not quite sugar or out of control related. But no, I kind of felt fine. There were a few days where there was something going on in my body, and I don't think it was related to the challenge per se, but just kind of coming down with something and having some bloating and some funky issues. But other than that, it didn't feel like this virtue of wellness and health. I just felt completely normal. Acknowledging them, first of all, was just a huge one, and just being like, okay, I am doing this challenge. Of course, I'm going to feel cravings, and that's fine. and kind of coaching myself through it and just being curious about how it feels, what it's like, and noticing that pattern where I have been craving in the past and wanting to do something, and I have done basically to get rid of that craving. So yeah, being Zen-like a Zen-like monk. I brush my teeth a few times, that helps. Sometimes I think one of the cues of sweet things is when you have something savory, if you have like a savory mouth. And so brushing your teeth helps to get rid of that mouth thing, and also it takes you out of the kitchen, which may also be helpful with regards to like cues and cravings. I also strategically used, not abused, but used drinks like tea and coffee, green tea. I found green tea actually really helpful, even though it's quite bitter. I could kind of, whatever sweet, like taste buds mentally thing that's going on when you eat sweet stuff, you can also get it with really strong other flavors. So like with a really bitter green tea, I was like, yes. And that seemed to satisfy me. And coffee as well, again. And also I had, so if you haven't tried this tea, licorice and peppermint tea, game changer. Normally herbal teas, I'm like, they always look so much nicer on the box, and then when you have them, you're disappointed. But this tea is so sweet. It's a real dessert replacement, like legit. So when I was really, really craving, and the bitter and the teeth and whatever wouldn't satisfy that cravings, and to be honest, that wasn't often, but I would make myself a licorice and peppermint tea, and that was fab. Another strategy that I used was just thinking that, do you know what, if I could wait a couple of days, I can have it then. Just knowing that it wasn't out of my life forever reduced some of the impact or the hold that it had on me at that moment in time. It wasn't like, I'm in jail now, I can't eat that food ever again. It was like, oh no, it's there. Chill, it's not going away. M&S will still have those chocolate churros. It's all right, babe. Yeah, after a while, they were just less strong and I had fewer of them, or I got better at tolerating them. So it was not, I didn't spend a lot of time in emotional pain, if that makes sense. I rediscovered fruit. So I had been snacking on things like rice cakes or biscuits or kind of like healthy but not healthy snacks. Anyway, I just rediscovered the joy of fruit and how nice it can be to have a lovely piece of fruit, and then you get that lovely, like, smug, healthy feeling as well, and also really low calories. I do try and stick to a calorie controlled diet, more or less, because I love to eat. And if I don't keep an eye on it somewhere, then things will happen that I don't feel so comfortable with. Fruit and yogurt, lovely, perfect as a snack. And that's something that I have continued going forward, actually. Dried fruit. So I thought that I would every day have my dried fruit allowance and that I wouldn't, like, couldn't wait to use it up. But actually, there were some days where I didn't even have it. So it was something about the real sweetness of food that's not just what I was looking for, but something else. Maybe it's like with chocolate, you get the fat, or with whatever donut, you would get the carb. So I don't know, like I didn't have that intense craving and need to have dried fruit. So I thought that that would be the case. And amazing hack that I found, if you warm fruit up, it becomes sweeter. So I was like caramelizing my bananas in a pan, microwaving blueberries, and that adds to the natural sweetness. So sugar is a massive flavor enhancer. And actually, my taste buds didn't change over time. I've heard those things where, you say, oh, if you cut sugar out for 7 days, then you'll just all of a sudden taste the natural sweetness in food and everything will be amazing, and you can just have bland porridge and rice and be like, oh, it's so good, like chocolate. That didn't happen to me. I was just like, this porridge is so, this yogurt is so. And it was okay. It wasn't preferable, just okay. So I definitely hadn't thought about sugar as a flavor enhancer, much like salt is a flavor enhancer on savory foods. And thinking of it that way has helped me to have it be very useful, actually. Like, I don't have a salt addiction. I use it strategically to make food taste better, to make healthy food taste better as well. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking of sugar like that more than a comfort eating, emotional eating type thing to make me feel better. One more surprising thing, lots of foods have a high like sugar content, like mustard and vinegar. Who knew? Couldn't have those. The times that I felt most tempted to break it were during social times when other people were eating sweet things around me. There was one memorable time chocolate churros was involved. Oh, looked incredible. And yeah, I thought about it, but also I had told everyone this is what I'm doing. Like, don't even ask, don't even try and tempt me. And I had a licorice and peppermint tea and still got that lovely sweet feeling. And I had some enjoyment watching other people eat their food and really enjoying it. So yeah, I wasn't tempted as such, but those were the times that I would have been most tempted. I wondered what I would be like. I thought I might be like having chocolate for breakfast, donut for lunch, cake for dinner. And actually, no, I just had a normal day of food. I did not like rebound. And if anything, I had my I had my fruit snack. But at the end of the day, I kind of bought some chocolate to the table and looked at it, and I felt ambivalent towards it. I was like, I could eat you, I could also leave you. And having that ambivalence, whoa, that is something that I've not had for a very, very, very long time. Of course, I ate it. I had to try and eat it to see what it was like, and it was amazing. But it was also, I felt like after eating the chocolate, like I was like, yeah, that was really nice. I really enjoyed it, but I felt like it had less of a hold on me. I wasn't like, we weren't bedfellows, me and sugar. We were just buds with a healthy, normal, like buddy relationship. So it's been 2 weeks since the challenge. So I'm sorry that I haven't done a video. Well, I did record one and then it didn't save. And then, you know, when you're like, ah, oh, there's no thing to do other than re-record it. And I have gone back to eating sugar. I am not this health wellness convert now. I do love my sugar, but I absolutely view it as more of a flavor enhancer. I am so much more cautious around chocolate, sweets, things that I would normally go to for pick-me-ups. I kind of view them with a little bit of suspicion. Having a bit of distance from it allows me to decide, do I want to have this? Does this fit with my goals and my emotional eating? Or am I actually choosing to eat this and enjoy it and have it be a thing and, you know, have it be part of my diet? So that's been really, really, really nice. After feeling out of control and standing in the corner of my kitchen, regretting the amount of I just put into my body and feeling like, why have I done this? Why have I done this again? To have some distance from that now has been amazing, like amazing. Big, big, big change as well. So as part of the challenge, I took everything out of the house into the shed because I thought it just makes my life easier. I don't have to open the cupboards and feel tempted or have those cues and temptations throughout my day. And that stuff is still in the shed and it has made the biggest impact. Sometimes I have found myself searching when I'm looking for whatever emotional feeling to address. And when it's not there, you're just like, well, guess I'm not going to eat it. And that also kills the cravings really effectively. So I will be doing that going forward. And I can still choose to go and get the stuff. I can still walk over. It's like a short walk. But that then again makes it really intentional. And that's how I want to have sugar in my diet. That's how I want to have food in my diet, intentionally and deliciously. I did have one day, so it was my birthday on Wednesday, a few days ago. Hence why I have such lovely birthday flowers. I don't just have them all the time. That'd be awesome if I did just for every YouTube video, just for my viewers. Enjoy these beautiful flowers in the background that cost me like 10-15 pounds, but you're worth it. Maybe one day I'll get to that. Anyway, for my birthday, my friend bought me, she bought me a lot of cake. She bought me 12 cakes from the amazing cafes that we have and local businesses where I live. And yeah, I was a bit like, oh my God, this is literally the best thing ever, having all this cake. Don't worry, video coming up. And also at the same time, feeling that kind of cautiousness, but also it's my birthday. Like, there's one day, it's your birthday, Christmas, Easter. Anyway, and so I did have a lot of cake. I had a lot of cake. I didn't actually, well, yeah, I definitely overate, but I didn't binge eat, and that was nice. There was in control cake, and then the day after, I was fine. It didn't like ruin this relationship, this buddy relationship that I've now got with sugar. I was like, okay, no, we had fun, buddy. Now we're still buddies. Overall, I feel like doing the challenge has 100% improved the relationship I have with food, improved the relationship I have with sugar, improved the relationship I have with myself. I don't know if it's willpower, because they say like willpower is a muscle, but also there's some emotional muscle around like tolerance of uncomfortable negative feelings that I'm so much better at dealing with now. If I feel something, I don't have to go and look to food to make me feel a different way. And that has been so worth it. And I feel like I would do like a no sugar boot camp. I basically feel like it's been a boot camp to kickstart this again if I start to again feel out of control around food, because it seems that the effects have lasted for much longer than I thought, which is amazing. I hope you have liked this video. Please do click like and subscribe if you want to see more of me eating or talking about food or talking about not eating food. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for sharing this time with me today, and see you next time.